stressful, but it's still yet to be out, the app. And there's also something that we've heard about having to pay 5 CDs to register. So, yeah, you sort of get the premise right now. We're talking about the SIM re-registration, whether it can be strengthened through an app, and if there are limitations. And to have that conversation, the usual suspects, Michael and Winston, are here with me, and we have Maximus Ametogo. You probably know him on the show and other shows talking about tech as well. He's an expert.
Something like that.
You see, I don't know, people are always shying away from the term expert because it comes with a lot of responsibility. You don't want to be called an expert and then some Nobel Prize winner sitting somewhere and says, okay, let me test your expertise. Well, yeah, but he is an expert and he's been talking about this issue the week just started, but since last weekend, no? I mean,
Yes.
We've been discussing this since last week.
Exactly, yeah.
And that informs why we're going to have this conversation. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. We're available on Facebook. We're available on YouTube, Joy997 FM. You can tune in or log in, watch us live. And if you missed any of our old episodes, it's available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, even on the My Joy Online app, on the Adom Online app as well. Or you can just say, hey Google, play Geek Squad, and then add a date or something. You know, just say play Geek Squad and listen to all of it. Or you can say, hey Alexa, and then say same thing. So see, we're that plugged in.
Well done. You triggered everybody's Alexa and Google devices.
Bro, they should even kind of pay me to use my voice as an Alexa voice, you know. That girl doesn't sound like... she doesn't sound engaging enough. Imagine if I was your Alexa voice. Wouldn't you like it?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm not talking to you, Michael.
Okay,
And
thank
with
you.
that, we're going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're talking about SIM re-registration. So, yes, SIM re-registration. Have you re-registered your SIM card? Send us a message, 055 quadruple 1997 055 11 11 997. Also, add your opinion about the whole self-service app. Is it too late? Should have come earlier? Is it necessary? Is it unnecessary? What's your opinion? Or you can even share with us your general opinion about the whole thing. What do you think? This whole SIM re-registration thing. What's your pain point? What do you think? Do you like the whole idea? Do you like the process? Or is there some info that you have that we don't have? Yeah, share all that with us. 055 11 11 997 055 quadruple 1997 055 1111997. If you want to join us on the Telegram group, it's t.me/JoyGeekSquad. The geek is Geek. I've been seeing some weird spellings of Geek Squad and oh my goodness.
G Squad.
It's Joy, Joy, Geek, Geek Squad, Squad. Now, Michael, you have re-registered your SIM card.
Of course not.
Hey,
Hey.
why are you owing quick loan and hoping that
Rebel leader.
no, he just went, of course not.
I mean,
Like, I'm in shock. I legit was expecting you of all people.
No.
I mean, Winston I would understand
no.
because he doesn't want to get out of his house. But
Yeah.
you,
No, I did not.
reason.
Went to my mobile vendor to try and register, being a good upstanding citizen I am.
Then, because now you're not.
Yeah, because I wasn't being treated as a good upstanding citizen. Went in there, I'd already done the text registration, linked it by text. So they said, okay, come in, we'll verify your data. I get there and then the man pulls out a mobile phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, he's going to take pictures of my fingerprints. And I'm like, it's okay. And I just left. Because there's no way that I'm going to believe that you taking pictures of my fingerprints with whatever unbranded mobile phone you're using, with whatever capability of camera, it's now going to be able to read my fingerprints, confirm that my fingerprints are what they say. And they weren't reading it. They were just taking pictures of people's fingerprints and taking pictures of their Ghana card info and then
Sending it somewhere.
sending it somewhere. Now,
So you don't know where it's going as
I don't know where I was going, but I can be sure it's not going to NIA. because that is not how they are supposed to confirm your data on your card. In fact, if you pull out your Ghana card, you can, and you turn the back, you can even see a little symbol, a black symbol on top with some, it looks like a sort of card, 2 rectangles with a circle in the center.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I'm pulling out my Ghana card right now.
Yeah.
So I should look where? Behind it?
Yep.
No, this is my driver's license.
Thank you, Spiky.
Yes, that's to prove that I have a driver's license. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
you
that
see
rectangle with
with
the
the circle,
radio waves, sort
Yeah.
of.
that means that the card, amongst several other things, has an antenna and it can be wirelessly read.
Right. Let me show this to the camera.
Yeah,
Zoom in.
right there at the
For
top
those who
of
are
your.
watching us on Facebook.
If you don't have your
or-
Ghana card,
But
right
if you
there.
don't have your Ghana card, yes, that means you're not a citizen.
And I've even gone
Look
far
behind
because
it.
right in front of the card, the chip
Yeah.
that looks like the chip.
In your SIM card.
Yeah, that was like an actual SIM card. In theory, that is the computer that hosts the program for the Ghana card.
Right.
You put it into a proper reader, or you tap it on a proper reader with a wireless that can read that wireless signal. It can read the information on the card instantly, and then all you need to do to verify who you are is just attach a proper verification device, fingerprint. In some cases, if the developers of whoever is requesting to verify that data has had a proper communication with NIA, you can even use your photograph.
Right.
I can say this now. I was actually involved in trials of an early app on being able to do that, and the early version of that app could even tell if you're wearing glasses or not. And as a party piece, we even had it guess your age, and it was guessing people's ages correctly with 83% accuracy. And this is just based off your fingerprints from the app itself. It wasn't reading your card or info or anything. No, and we tested dark light or whatever. So if, and I'm sure lots of people can confirm this, your fingerprints aren't as strong on the fingerprint reader, fine, no problem. Instead of using your fingerprint, verify using your photograph. And it is instant. There's no, oh, we'll send it to NI and then you wait. No. Within, as long as the network is good, within 10 to 15 seconds, boom, you are confirmed as the owner of a card. And job done. So as soon as they pulled out a phone and like, you are not going to do any of that, and I'm like, okay, I am suddenly have zero confidence in what you are doing with my data, because this is perfect grounds for identity theft.
Right.
I don't know where my data is going. I don't know what you're doing with it. I don't know how secure it is. At least NIA, I can say with a lot of confidence that my Ghana card info, my personal biometric, that makes me who I am, as far as my identity is concerned, is safe.
Right.
They have a very strong server setup, and they have, a frankly very impressive backup. When I found out where their backup server was and how it was set up, I was blown away. I didn't think they had put that much effort into it. I thought, oh, same NIN location is just a different machine. Nah, they really put a lot of effort into getting this thing done. So I know that, okay, data going in there is secure. Data being read is, and you can't manipulate the data. You can only read it as allowed to by them. And so like, okay, so yeah, you do this in the right way. Go ahead, read my data, but you're not reading my data in this SIM registration. You're collecting my data again. Wasn't there, I think recently there was even an injunction against them because of data collection. That should have even been a red flag, because if there wasn't data collection, the data injunction, that injunction would have fallen flat from the word go. But no, that means you're collecting our data again. It's not going to NI, because why would it need to collect your data again?
Because they already have it. So it's supposed to just go and cross-reference with the NIA database.
Yeah.
And then we're done. So it means that this duplicating of data, to say, the least. But then again, it's another government organization, so we can trust them the same way we trust NIA,
That is my problem. I can't trust them the way I can't trust NIA.
Before I get to Maximus, Winston, you re-registered your SIM card.
I had to re-register my SIM
Okay.
card because, as you people are aware, my phone was absconded.
Yes.
And in getting my new SIM, they had to do the process. So I was like, do I want to be stubborn or I want to place calls?
Stubborn Akada.
So-
I think that's how we started the show.
You're stubborn with us all the time.
I mean, I didn't really have a choice. It was a means of communication. I was like, you know what? I just acquiesced.
But based on what you're hearing from Michael, do you regret it?
So, let me start off with this. We all believe that the Ghana
When you
card.
say we all, do
Yeah,
you mean
we
like
all.
we all Ghanaians.
No, we all in this studio
Right.
because we are the ones having this conversation. So let's leave some disclaimers out there. We all believe that the concept of the Ghana card is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Can I hear verbal agreement?
100%.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, we all believe this. The only thing that has made this a very terrible thing, in my respect, is the process of acquiring the card, and then this sub process of the SIM
Using
registration
the features that this Ghana card is supposed to
have and does have.
Mhm.
Does have. I mean, Michael has spoken about a few things, but my thing will always be, for instance, when Michael was talking about the whole procedure and everything, I'm like, I remember quite pointedly that when you were signing up for the Ghana card, we wrote our phone numbers on that form, did we not?
Yes, we did.
So this is multiple levels of, like, if they were trying to ensure that there were no redundancies, I will try and understand. But that's not what's happening here. There are so many levels that should have been done before we got, like, another thing that I have previously, I mean, a previous government told us that we have to register our SIM cards with national ID, right? When you're going to sign up for Ghana card, they tell you bring all your national ID. Let's put it all into our powers combined to this one card. So just by mere logic of how technology works, if I've inputted my passport or my voter's ID or my driver's license in this, it should just be a cross-reference thing. I shouldn't be out here. Okay, fine. I'll do your first stage. I mean, the telco said, oh, you have to send them your full name that you have on the card, and then I will do that stage. After that, I shouldn't have to show up.
Absolutely.
You should just cross-reference, and then that's when what Michael says makes me wonder, because it's like, is it that I'm asking a question, so the people who are out there who know the answers, is it that they have no means of cross-referencing the information and thus are collecting brand new data?
Which could be corrupted.
Please, you don't answer my question. Say your own answer. So, is this the situation, or you are just trying to build a redundancy? If you are trying to build a redundancy, you don't need to take pictures of people's face. You don't need pictures of people's fingerprints, because all you need is the person's number and the thing. Because it's even funny, when this whole thing was happening and this re-registration, the app, I decided to look up the best case of national identification is the American Social Security number. Now, even in America, that is not the official national identification. No, it's just everybody say, okay, this is what we are using. They've not come out to say it. This system was set up in 1936. Would you like to know how they went about it?
Tell me.
So they faced a lot of challenges. I don't want to get into that, but basically the initial use of the social security number was to be able to identify tax from workers, how much you were making, so they could identify how much tax you had to pay, which is quite similar to what Ghana is trying to do with the Ghana card. Oh, cool. We bab. So what they did was that they sent postmen to businesses, and then they talked to all the business, like, okay, these are the number of businesses on what's the name of this street? This Joy FM street.
Fanofa.
Yeah, Fanofa Street. There are 10 businesses here. Okay, so they speak to the employers. How many workers do you have on your payroll? 100. Okay, cool. Next week, they brought the forms, shared it. They're like, okay, you say you have 100 workers. Here, take. You have this thing. The employees were then distributed. That thing was distributed to them, and they were supposed to fill it. And there were a couple of things that they had to do after you filled it. Either you give it back to your employer, and he will send it back to the place, or you can put it back in your mailbox. Ghana, we know get some like that. We get, but people are not really cool with that thing. Yeah. So sorry, Ghana Post is working hard, so I'm sure soon.
We are posting.
And nobody had to step out. The main thing is nobody had to step out of their office during office hours to go and do this. Never. So we've gone through Ghana Card. People who did it
Wait, this was in 1936.
36.
Where
1936.
there was no technology that could transmit data
Everything
from
was.
one house to the other.
It was even a challenge to get there, how to go about their social security, because they had to create a whole new system that would identify numbers and alphabets, because that's how they were going to create the serial numbers. And then they had to decide that, okay, do we want 9 numbers or 8 numbers or 7? And that, okay, if we want 9 numbers, these first 4, what should they be? They went through a lot of hoops, but the point is nobody left their office. Proper working hours. Nobody left their office. Ghana, we went through that. People who signed up for Ghana Card when we were asked to do it fresh. Bashing they no get from the card. You dey bab.
Yeah.
And they left their offices. People spend days in queues setting this up. And now you've brought another
Another
queuing step that people have to leave during office hours. And then you complain that Ghanaians are not productive. What is going on? It doesn't. The final thing I have to say about this for now is that my bank, so Spike, you know my bank, my bank, which is holding people's millions, was like, oh, just send us your ID card number and name, and we are good.
Yeah, a lot of banks do that. Even created
Bank, they hold me my money. Then me, I want to do space to space. I have to go and stand in the queue. Are you serious, man? Are you serious? Oh, nah. This entire thing has just it's been extremely ridiculous. And it makes me wonder. So now, Michael, sorry to put you under the bus, but is this a situation where the banks have a communication with NIA?
That's the telcos don't.
And not telcos. I think this is an NCA matter because they are passing the directive. Yes. So
okay.
please, man, must finish.
So this has been a long premise by Michael and Winston. You guys clearly are very pained by this whole process. I thought I was, but yeah, I feel less pained now.
I feel a lot of pain because recently a friend of mine, Salasi, he spent 3 days looking for his Ghana card, to the point where he spent the last 2 of those 3 days physically looking at one card after the other, after the other before he found his card
in a stadium.
Oh wait. So wait. When you say he was looking for his card, I thought he was looking for his card in his house.
No.
He went to the place where he went to register to go get his card.
He didn't even register there.
Oh wow.
He went to his registration place. They told him to go to LWAC. He goes to LWAC. They are like, he said there were 8 queues there. And the queues, they've not labeled it that, oh, missing card, renewal. They've not labeled, so you join the queue. If you are in the right queue, you are in the right queue. If you are not, go back and you ask, okay, so what does this queue do? Oh, okay. Oh, then you should go to this queue. Then you go and join. Then you enter, and the cards are there, not in alphabetical order. So the funniest thing for him,
the cards are there, printed with everybody's Ghana card number and details all there.
Yeah, just the card.
So I can go there and then see my MP's Ghana card there and take a picture or take it. Actually,
that's the funniest thing. So the second day, he found his brother's card, and he was like, "Oh, this is my brother. Look at the person. He looks like me, right? And this is my name. Can I take the card and go and give it to him because he's at home?" They're like, "No, you can't do that." And I was like, okay, so he had to figure out a way to deal with that. And then he had to come the next day to come and search again before he found his card.
Because my concern about this is the fact that this is straight up identity theft. Like opening it up to...
I can pretend... Okay, let's not give ideas.
Okay. Now, Maximus, we're about to bombard you a lot. Michael, you still want to say something?
Oh, no. On this whole, the cards, yes, it is a bit of concern.
Next week we have to talk about identity theft because people don't realize how serious
and how easy
this is. Like my mind is so blown right now.
Just before I state my point, that is why at the start I made the big point to me. As soon as I realized that there's going to be some issue in my identity thing, I left immediately because the risk is great. We are in 2022, right? Our phones are smarter, are more powerful than the computers they use to send man to the moon. We have come very far in the world, but we are treating certain things as though that they don't matter. you lose your identity in this digital world, you are going to have a hell of a time getting it back. We are not quite at the point. We are still approaching a point where if you do that, you come even near terminal. But take these things seriously early. Like you said, we'll talk about it very soon. But identity theft is not a joke, which is what made me worry about this thing in the first place. On the subject of the cards being out and open, yes, it is a bit of a risk, but I have to speak on NIA's shortcut. They are short-staffed, right?
Yeah.
As you know, when it comes to Ghana, you put any sort of registration, anything with a date, we will go through hoops to get it done as best as we can. And it doesn't, if you've been involved, you know that it has never been a straightforward and easy thing to deal with. And unfortunately, thanks to the SIM card registration, bear in mind, it's NCA's thing, not NIA's. It just that happens to use NIA's card. NIA's plan way back when they did the Ghana card registration was, they'll go around, do mass registrations for everyone. If they miss you, no problem. After we are done, we'll sit down, we'll set up new offices everywhere. Walk in at your leisure and get it done.
Yeah.
Before it was even done, and they said SIM card registration. So suddenly, where the pressure was supposed to decrease is still there. That same level of pressure right from when the new Ghana card program had started, and it hasn't decreased ever
It's
since.
actually doubled up because there are people who have errors in their Ghana cards and trying to get it fixed, and because of SIM registration, now they are also on squeezing NIA by the neck.
So imagine all of that pressure on NIA. They are literally short-staffed. There's only so much they can do. So literally, your card is there. Someone has to go through thousands of cards to pull out your card for an individual each time. They can't do it. So like, see, please do it yourself. And it sounds a bit bad. And yeah, it is not the greatest. But yeah, no, the thing is, I'm not as worried because taking a picture, taking a picture of the data or whatever, it's only half of the, you do that, that is half of the use of the card. The important part of the card, which is why I made mention at the start, that it has a chip and it has that wireless thing, is that you can verify the owner of the card with the right tools almost near immediately. There even exists an app on iPhone actually that allows you to read the card wirelessly. It just as a showpiece. It was a demonstration. It hasn't gone full in, to just say that this card belongs to this person with a biometric means. So and that's the thing, without that biometric confirmation, instant biometric confirmation that this card belongs to this person, you can have as many cards as you have on your person. If your biometrics don't match any of them, it's uses you, because that means that
here's the case that you're doing SIM re-registration, you're not verifying the biometrics, you're capturing.
Yeah.
So if I never mind. Maximus, you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Maximus, we've given you a lot to go on. And see, you're looking to the sky.
You see, me, I've registered one of my numbers because I went to a telecom company consultant. So, can we do your registration for you? And then they captured my details. I was quite surprised when they took a picture of the tip of my fingers. I was like, which kind of technology is that one? You know, to be able to read my finger, you're taking an image.
And actually, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
One photograph and like you've read my fingerprint.
When the fingerprint scanner on your phone
needs multiple tries to get it right.
Exactly.
And if there's any slight thing wrong, it is immediate. But suddenly your photograph on
quickly.
The funniest part is that, do you realize
it's
marriage?
a 200 megapixel ISOCell Nona binning camera doing this capturing.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is that
I mean, fine. If it was as big as my head, then I know it could read even the barcode under my fingerprints. But clearly, it's not
you
doing
see
that.
how close a relationship your finger has with your fingerprint scanner before it gets that data.
Yeah.
And then someone who
Because the grooves must be very visible.
Yeah. And someone who
Right?
stand
So
next
if you have grease even on your palm and you take a picture, it will
it's not
reflect.
like,
Yeah.
So, please.
You know, so I was quite surprised. That's why some of us called for, open deadlines. There should not be any deadline at all for the SIM re-registration. It's actually a re-registration. It means there was a registration, right? So if NIA has been able to carefully profile people, more detailed content and data sets on people, and then we have a column or a line which talks about the person's phone number, it means that every data set within that person's profile is verified. Your phone number, your house number, your mother's name, your father's name, unless you are telling me all those things My mother needs to come and verify herself before you verify her as my mother, right? All those things are already done. So if you have a phone number already on my Ghana card profile, it means that number belongs to me.
Right.
If you say it doesn't belong to me, it means that you are telling NIA that the numbers you've also collected are not correct. The same number they used to just send you a notification or whatever.
That you've registered and everything.
Yes, it's not correct, right? So it doesn't make sense to have a new SIM re-registration, capturing people's data and information. We don't know where the thing is being stored. And I heard the telcos are even paying per SIM, right?
The telcos are paying.
Yes, that's what I heard. That they are paying the one who designed the app. So the app the telcos are using is not free. The telcos they've already paid for
the app. The
for
telcos are paying for the app.
Yes.
And then we are then being charged to.
So that's the same thing they want to package.
Let me not even jump ahead.
On the app store for us to use.
Let's take our
And you see, when you're talking about a self-service, it means that you understand that the user has some level of savviness in terms of technology to self-serve themselves. The person who doesn't even know how to send an SMS or even take a picture on their mobile phone, you say they can go and download the app, and you trust that they will collect data for you. Meanwhile, the field officers that you use, you are supposed to train them over a period and test them that they could capture the data the way you want it. Then you said, oh, Maximus, just enter your own data. We are fine with it. So I take a picture of myself, take a picture of my wife, what do you call it, finger, as my fingerprint, and it's stored in your system. So you have Maximus's face, his name, his wife's fingerprint in your system. How do you verify that?
You can even decide to, mix match.
Yeah, I can even take a picture of my children, fingerprint, and input it into the system. So you are creating a data junk using that self-service app. No wonder the app is not yet in the app stores as promised today. So it does not make sense. And you see, SIM card is not just a chip. It's an economic asset. Government gets levies, taxes, benefits from it. So we are talking about e-levy, we are talking about talk time tax, and all the data and calls we make on a SIM card benefits the government even more than us because we do the prepaying. Right? So if you are going to kill off millions of cards, expect that the telcos will come and say, hey, you cut off 16 million people. So revenue for this year is 50% of the previous year. And then e-levy is also half, talk time tax is half. And this is government looking for money in this particular year. So this whole deadline thing, trust me, 30th September, half of the people have not registered will not be registered by then.
So you honestly don't think the app will encourage people to register their SIM?
No, if they even encourage and advertise, they are not even doing themselves a favor. Because you are going to capture junk. You can't verify, you can't authenticate, you can't sync with NIA. And from what I'm hearing, NIA has been able to similarly sync or verified bank accounts, SNIT, DVLA in 20s of millions. Already, no problem. Behind the scenes. No announcement.
I think, is it NHIS now are doing re-registration?
No, what's interesting, I got a text message recently that I had never even started it, and it was like, I think I still have that text message. It was like, oh, your NHIS has been synced with your Ghana card. I was like,
bingo.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So this could have been done.
And
yeah,
Kobe is listen. Technology is a product of inconvenience. I always say that. You don't use inconvenience to sell it. Why do you want to make it so difficult for people to even believe that convenience is what is the value technology offers? Why should I go and queue? I have one card. Even the number I use for my Ghana card should be like an index number. Then you just populate the same numbers with my other numbers. So Maximum, do you have any additional number? I just add it that these are my numbers. You can verify it yourself. But I don't need to go and register each number. So you are registering SIM cards instead of the SIM users. It doesn't make sense.
So you're creating a database of SIM cards without the users of the SIM card.
Exactly.
But then the whole idea was to prevent fraud. So essentially, collecting all that data means that if somebody buys a SIM card and does the registration, puts their...
Which kind of fraud? The one that they call you and say,
Yeah.
I want to change your Momo number.
Yes.
That is social than technological.
Yeah. Social engineering.
It's social engineering. It's not technology. So if
Because
somebody uses,
regardless-
if a lot of people use cutlasses to kill people, it means you are going to register every cutlass. it doesn't make sense. These are social engineering. If somebody calls you on no number, you should be careful how you deal with the person. The person can be registered, but the person's phone number is not in
It's
your
not,
phone
yeah.
book. So you have to deal with the person with some kind of circumspection. But if you said, okay, because the unknown caller that is coming may be a criminal, so let's register every SIM card and then kill off the SIM cards that don't register. It's not solving that cyber crime problem. The top 10 countries in the world where they have cyber crime, it's not SIM card that is causing it.
Okay, now let me read some WhatsApp messages, and after which I will go into discuss some of this. Guys, the country Ghana does not value what is called data, or leadership of the country are shallow-minded in tech and not developing fast as they're pretending the country is. Anything enters the system. That's an accuracy. I also got a message successfully linking my TIN to my Ghana card, a process I didn't initiate. So, hi tech team. In simple words, NIA, the data, but the telecommunications companies want it for free. End of story. How come government institutions like SNIT, NHIS, DVLA, and even banks, because there is an agreement to use NIA card readers? That's Virus from North Legon. Good evening, Geek Squad. The risk of identity theft is very real. I went to La Paz to register my SIM. After my registration, a guy who sounded non-Ghanaian came up to the other guy doing the registration and said he wanted to register a SIM. The guy registering the SIM asked him, "Do you have Ghana card?" He answered no. Then the registrar said, "Bring 50 cedis, I'll do it for you." My thought was, whose card is he going to use to register for him? I think there must be a way to check all the SIMs linked to your Ghana card. That's Ernest from American. Yeah, Ernest. Because if he did use your SIM card, what's the...
Someone's taking loan in your name.
Michael Pan, General Kobe Spike Kuma, with the SIM registration, the linking of the Ghana card to it goes to NIA first before it releases to the telco. And with the SIM registration app, trust me, it's not every phone that have NFC which will support the app. Those who are yet to do self-registration should have to pay more than 5 Ghana cedis. But into whose pocket is that money going to? That's Douglas
It's
from
going
BC.
into the app.
No, they told us who's
No,
pocket.
it's going to the app. There's somebody behind the app.
So, we've got another message here. Good evening, tech guys. Please tell the authorities to let KNUST students develop an Android biometric application which will allow us to capture our fingerprints and submit with ID number to the telcos, and then it will be synchronized with the NIA biometric data. This one is not rocket science. The world is moving fast and not waiting for us. Let's wake up Ghana 4. That's Shalom. He sent this last year, January. Today, we're now being asked
to do what he said.
Yeah, so, Charlie, let's be honest. If we strip the process down to the minimum, all we needed was to get the Ghana card to everyone. Then we would have all done the registration. 1, avail Ghana card to everyone. 2, everyone who wants to register does. 3, you stand firm on a reasonable deadline. All these postponements and an app don't matter if you don't get the basics up there right. That's from someone. So, here's the thing.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
Under no circumstance must anyone blame NIA
right.
for what is happening in the SIM card re-registration. Under no circumstance. They have done their work and they are not
still
under
doing
any...
They are still doing their work.
Yes, they are still doing their work. They are under no deadline. They are supposed to register anyone who is a Ghanaian, who becomes a Ghanaian, who is born a Ghanaian.
Or even who's a non-Ghanaian. Because
Exactly.
there's a non-citizen
exactly.
portion to this as
Yeah,
well.
so it means that there's no deadline to that. So why do you want to use deadline to make it look as if they are not the one doing their work.
Which also goes to show that just given time, I would have gotten a text message that, oh, your phone number has been registered.
Your phone number has been linked to your Ghana card.
And why don't they have SIM registration points at the NIA registration point?
This is where you should have played that. I say, you ask a question. I'm going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'll still read your messages and we'll continue talking about SIM re-registration. They call you. MTN wants you to know that you can still bring some life to your caller ring back tone with some of your favorite music. If you enjoy high life, hip hop, hip life, or gospel, then all you have to do is dial *1355# to choose from a wide range of music options, and that's it. Everyone who calls you gets to listen and dance to your favorite music too. Get a dope caller ring back tone today and enjoy life only on MTN. Yes. So, back to reading your messages. Good evening, guys. Will one's debt be blocked if the SIM is blocked? That's Ajiman Joseph, Community 9. Ajiman, you've just given your address.
you know the funniest thing about this thing? I was just telling someone just basic math. MTN brought out a publication saying that 6 million people who are taking quick loans hadn't. And minimum for quick loans was 100 Ghana cedis. So that's 600 million Ghana cedis that the government wants MTN
To lose.
to just leave. Not lose. To just allow
To go.
I don't think that's
But
gonna
what if I chew my chip?
Let me say something. The minister says that is evil corruption and they'll be found out.
How?
Then I ask myself, if you can find those people out, why are you asking them to re-register their SIM?
Questions.
Yeah, I've asked one question.
So let me read some more messages. I think there could be a timeline for various services such as banks to provide services to only GH card verified individuals, etc. But SIM card registration must be a continuous activity without a deadline. That's Mauli from Ibri. So
Yes, the banks
I'm curious. Assuming I was in Ghana, right?
before come back.
And but not finished.
There's no other option. The deadline
But
passed.
there's self-service. I'll go fee when the app comes.
No, you see, if you say self-service, by now too, the app is geo-restricted because you know there are certain apps that do not
work outside of
outside the
And
country.
you know you cannot submit the app without an international passport. You can't submit with a Ghana card.
Okay, so Mastermind says, my guy, the app had to be delayed so there will be job for the boys. I think as a country we have to be very honest, objective, and have a lot of foresight when undertaking certain projects. And someone also says that the image capture for the fingerprints actually works well. And he sent a link to fingerprint extraction using the smartphone camera. So it could work well.
Let's skip that
I
because we
mean,
are opening
No,
a can
you
of.
see,
He,
it
I'm
can
sure,
work well.
I'm sure he's a leading
But you
biometrics
see,
expert.
There's another. They told us that will be. They will sync that with the NIA system. NIA system, the encryption is like. It's only South Africa.
can't-
Only
You can't get in. Already,
So,
it's a closed network
If
on
it
its
doesn't
own.
match, it's like using Excel. You want to sync Excel with PowerPoint. It does not work because the format you are capturing that particular biometric, it doesn't match what they have in their system. So how are they going to verify? And because they are going to lay it's a layer thing. The thing must match, so it must sit on the same
It
thing.
must sit on, it makes sense. Because I was also thinking if the perspective is wrong while the person was taking the picture,
Which is
is
highly
there-
likely.
Which is highly likely. Is there a
exactly.
way that is going to correct all these things?
The-
But then again, we don't know the workings of the app. But I'm curious.
AI is AI.
Well,
It's
AI and algorithm.
How does the app transfer? Where does the data go to? Because we asked our resident hacker, Anansi, Kuku Anansi, those who are long-time listeners of the show probably know him, to dig into the app, and he said he noticed that. I think this was the one that's the
Agent app.
the agents were using. Noticed that the app was going to diamondfortress.com, which I looked into, and it's actually a biometrics company. So I think he's right there. They have a patented software-based biometric solution that uses a device's camera to capture a user's unique fingerprint. It's called Onyx. So yeah, that's what's Kwekwanase found out. So the data is probably going through Onyx and then being stored. Is it NCA?
So it's going.
We don't know whether it's
we don't-
NC or NETA.
Nita or
And do those people have the legal right to even
Exactly,
capture and host
because
and,
that's-
and store biometric
Because
data?
based on our Data Protection Act, that's not allowed. The only time that is allowed is when you, as an end user, agree to let your. So whenever you use a social media app, there are terms and conditions. Part of it is that your data will be used for testing, blah 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 blah. And most of us just do I agree because Charlie, we're in a hurry. So if we as end users never went through a process of agreeing to give up our data, and if that data is not being hosted locally in the country because it's data that's collected for the country, then that's a problem.
that indeed is a problem.
That even raises more questions because resident security experts could figure that out from the build of the app.
Yes, the APK.
And so he knows exactly where the data went. Forget even the web address. He knows the exact IP address the
data
information
is-
went to on the open internet.
You relax. You relax. Let's not.
I mean, my data is not in there, so
You relax.
Now, what are some of the major flaws this app could have?
Which app?
The
The re-
self-service one that is going to come.
No, we haven't seen that one. So let's talk about the agent. The
Okay,
agent
yeah.
app.
so can I unrelax now?
Let's relax so I will not give people ideas.
Well, I mean, we're not giving people ideas. We're thinking about solutions here.
I mean,
Because it seems to be a worry for a lot of citizens that they have to go through this stress.
which is what Maximus was saying. Like, you don't create an inconvenience and then be like, "Tada! This is the way to solve this inconvenience." But
With another
you
inconvenience.
created it, and now you're giving us a whole new inconvenience to solve an inconvenience you created inconveniently. Like,
You see, I came
You know the one statement that one of the officials made that the 5 CDs is cheaper than you taking
Uber.
a car from your house to
And
go
you
and do
don't
the
go with that.
registration.
I knew
And
the
I was
goal
like,
was-
but that's the essence of technology. That's why we don't post letters.
But even this 5
It's
cities
cheaper.
thing, where did it come from?
Exactly. How did
Because-
they even come up with the fee?
with the figure.
I mean, I really have here Ministry of Finance's review of fees and charges for NIA data use.
Yeah.
There's no 5 CD figure in here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
for the
there.
app developers.
Yeah,
so
that's what it's-
yeah, but the thing is, an interesting thing about this document, it also has a list of all those who are allowed to use
The
and
fees.
access NIA's data and their negotiated fees.
Yeah.
I don't see NCA's name here.
But you see, what
And if-
I'm trying to understand is these are two government agencies. These are not independent.
They should be shaking
you know,
hands on this.
Yes, this should be handshaking on this. This conversation should have been had prior.
Before this whole thing
You
was
see, the whole
started.
thing is policy. It's policy that enables two organizations to shake hands. If there's no clear policy, that's what is going to happen.
But isn't it policy that when it comes to the use and access of
Identification. people is NIA.
you have to go to NIA?
Yeah, that one is there. That's the
Is
law.
there? So where's the confusion now? Because if they are not going to NIA to use that data, why is NCA?
So then so if they are not allowed to take the data, that means that then they collect their own data then.
but why would
they shouldn't be allowed.
why
to
would
do that.
why would,
That is what is happening.
No,
why would,
because
why would NIA refuse them?
Yeah, because identity related information, there is someone meant to do that.
NIA, were you charging 5 CDs per verification? Okay. I heard something like that. So they wanted to do it themselves.
No,
Wow. Look, this entire thing is just I do not know what the rush is. I do not understand why we need to go through all of this. Like I said, I've written my phone number. My problem, I have a problem with NIA. And since we are doing a lot of shots, let me fire shots at NIA as well. My issue with NIA during the Ghana card process was simply this. If I got like the whole thing where each person who came, they had to get you, they'll be like, are you sure this is your name? Are you this? I get that is to ensure that the data is tight and it's correct and everything. But that slowed up the process a lot. That slowed up because I was like, and this has nothing to do with NIA, but if NCA, we are presuming, you guys can't see me, but there are finger quotes in the air, I'm waving them. If NCA, presumably, is, or allegedly, is saying that we would create a self-service app, then I feel like NIA too, they should create self-service app for us to sign up for the Ghana card, and then all you have to do, because
take a picture of take selfie, take a picture of your fingerprints,
and then
send
we
it
move.
to NIA.
We move
You get a
because
Ghana card
yeah, I mean, what's going on here?
to be
There's-
delivered
there-
by a courier.
As we've spoken about this
ISO,
before,
ISO
The-
certification.
there's a whole standard.
Oh, yeah,
design-
I know.
Mhm.
So why is the SIM card re-registration one also following said standard?
Oh, jeez, no.
Me, I don't know, but from what I'm seeing, it doesn't
Not-
look like.
No standard. I mean, so let's go back a little bit. Remember, there's a lot of noise about the Ghana card can be used as a pilot because, as far as
Passport.
technical requirements are concerned, it fulfills all of those marks.
Yes.
It hits the technical marks perfectly. How do you do that? By abiding by international standards.
Yeah.
We all remember how the experience, because we will remember what it was like to go through the NI experience when you were capturing your fingerprint. It took a lot of pains to make sure your fingerprint capture was as good as it could be. For the first time ever, we're doing iris capture.
Yeah.
Right? Your pictures, and everybody went through a lot of effort to make sure your picture was set just the right way. Then, of course, then there's the issue that's plaguing a lot of people, your actual information. But even then, to NIS credit, they had a way to do that, especially for our older people who don't know their exact birthdays. So, fine. Well enough. Now, you now have internationally certifiable data. As far as technical restraints are concerned, it can be used as a passport. In fact, you can use it as a passport now when traveling within the ECOWAS sub-region. No problem
About
at all.
that.
And with that, our time is up. Our time is up. If
Uh,
we can do it
no,
in less than 60 seconds.
Yes. So a friend of mine traveled, went from Cote d'Ivoire to Cameroon recently, and they were not allowed to use the Ghana
Yeah,
card.
but Cameroon is not in ECOWAS.
Yes.
It isn't.
No.
Why your geography? Where you from?
But also they had issues at Cote d'Ivoire already. In Cote d'Ivoire,
What
which
time?
is our next.
When
This
was
was
it?
like this during last month, July.
No,
Oh,
They were like, we don't take this here.
We'll
Black
follow up,
Panther.
we'll follow up on that.
That person probably did not.
But
Okay.
but to close off, it's like, okay, this is the standard that's been done, and now they are doing a similar sort of. You can't even call it similar. Like, you can't use this. If that was the case, we would be able to use our fingerprints on the internet because, hey, our phones can take pictures of our fingerprints, and all. No, they don't do that. Even when you submit a picture for certain applications, especially let's say US visas, people are familiar with that. When you submit that, they give you a very clear breakdown of exactly how your photograph should be. No left or right in that. Not a general, just send me a selfie and you're done. So
Well, on that note, we'll bring the show to a close. My name is Kobe Spike and Chroma. This has been Geek Squad, which was brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. You missed the show, you can catch us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Apple. You can ask your Siri. You can ask your Google Home or Alexa. Everywhere. Download the My Joy Online app. Download the Adam Online app. Catch us there. YouTube, Facebook. Listen, double click on the internet. Look for Geek Squad. We'll catch you next week. Shout out to my producer, Prince, Safo, Abeku Sankofi, and Chris. Cheers.